I do need to call this meeting to order. As you're willing and able, please rise for the pledge. Right leg isn't cooperating right now.
Sorry, I couldn't get out of my chair either.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, thank you all for coming. We have no one signed up to deliver any public comments, so we will move right into the report of the secretary, and I will entertain a motion, please, to approve the minutes of our last meeting.
I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. Come on. Am I wrong or first?
Again.
This is not good. I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. Sorry about that.
Second,
We have the
Rebecca,
minutes.
thank you. You were looking at the minutes.
I was looking at the minutes, yes.
Any comments or questions? They look great to me.
Great.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, that's 4-0. And we move on to the report of the chair. We did have a town officials meeting.
Oh,
And I have a bunch of notes from that.
yeah. I have some notes, don't want.
Let me just do like a high level and then you can fill in. Is that okay?
Sure,
Okay.
whatever works.
Yeah. Mike's very pleased that the LA Town Hall is open. They're still fixing some gremlins, but all is otherwise going well. Spring of 2026 is going to be work on 236. There's paving going on through the last time we met. He's excited about some projects, Murray Road, the softball field and walking path, the Frost Tufts work, and the Hammond Park large covered pavilion that they're very excited about. They think there's going to be some potential uses for the Elliott Elementary School for that too, which is kind of very cool. It's going to include an ADA compatible playground, which is good.
Great.
Let me see, what is this? Maine DOT design lights at Depot Road. That's a project for next year. They're going to probably add a right turn lane on the northbound side for turning into toward the school. The slow school sign that's north of Elliott Elementary needs to get moved, except it's not clear where to because of other restrictions in that area, so that's being looked at. There's a new crosswalk going in there with a signaling device in that area. And the November election in Elliott will be held at the town hall, not at the middle school. Town hall project in South Berwick delayed. Contract finalization is going on. They're going to start the demo work on the first floor very soon. The basketball courts over by Powder House, they've painted that floor so it'll do better with reflecting sunlight rather than absorbing it, so that when they put the ice rink in this winter, it'll keep the ice longer. So that's kind of cool. And of course, voting in South Berwick is being moved to the high school. And they were meeting, I think this coming Friday, to finalize the layout on how that would go, the traffic flow and where they're going to put the voting booths and stuff. Traffic light project downtown is still moving forward. We had a conversation about signage out front that might help us with encouraging people not to go quite so fast out in front of the high school. That was a very good conversation, a lot of good ideas emerging. That actually spilled over into our meeting, our FNF meeting tonight, so we'll check in on that in a minute. Let's see. The portable is done at CES. This is the stuff that Heidi reported on, and it's a conference space and an office space. EES, the side door is replaced. The budget conversation is, of course, starting now that we have our numbers essentially finalized to go to the state, our enrollment numbers. The Great Works School is no longer going to use the side door for external groups and users. That's the shutdown, a potential issue there. The next meeting.
That's the save the floor issue.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's right. Next meeting will be at LA Town Hall. That's,
Well,
okay.
the EES door is being replaced, right?
It's the
Because it's
drop-off
broken.
door in the back.
Yeah.
It has been replaced.
Oh, it
Yeah.
has been, okay.
Yeah, actually, I want to.
Oh, you'll go over that
When we get to the
later.
F&F
We can get to
report.
that.
Anyway, that was the town meeting. Anything else you had, no?
No, that was perfect.
Okay, good. Good, so the next meeting will be November 12th, as I said, at the Elliott Town Hall. So if you're
Yeah.
planning to attend, you probably plan to attend in person, so we
Yeah.
That's it for me. Report of the superintendent is next.
All right, so the first thing on my agenda is to give you an update on our secondary data. David, should I project mine up? Okay. All the way back to the beginning. Okay. Do I need to stand up there, or can I use this mic? Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah,
It's actually easier for me if I
Yeah, of
can
course.
look at my screen and talk, and
Absolutely.
not hold my computer.
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll do it that way. So last time we met, I talked about our elementary data, so I want to take a little bit of time this week to share some information about the middle school and high school data. So we'll start with the science data. As you can see, you also have this in your packet, so it's easier for you to follow along that way. I apologize if the slides are too small. So what you see here is the main science assessment from this past spring. You have the grade 8 and grade 11 scores. The state average for 8th grade was 47.2%, and that's the percentage of students that scored either at or above state expectations. So anybody who sort of met or exceeded proficiency. And for us, our Marshwood Middle School 8th graders were 62.6%. So that's a healthy amount above state average. Similarly, for the 11th grade, the state was at 36.1% proficient, and we were at 55.4%. So feel good about that science data. Also, again, as I mentioned last week, always like to look at a 3-year average to eliminate any cohort effect of sort of a particularly strong or particularly weak group. So this is our 3-year average comparison. The state on a 3-year average was at 46%. Marshwood, 8th grade was at 62.6. 11th grade was at 36.9 for the state, and for us 55.7. So, a good 15 to 20 percentage points above state average on a 3-year look, which is a good positive look. The other thing we look at in the spring is ELA and math. So taking a look at ELA, we test for ELA in grades 6, 7, 8, and 10. So you can see the state average numbers in the center column, and the Marshwood numbers on the right-hand column. Again, well above state average. 8th grade scores are not as high as the other grade levels. Christine and I have had a conversation about that. She's working with the teachers we're just trying to figure out why that is, because it seems like a blip. So we're working on that. And again, on the 3-year average, pretty similar.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting if you go back, right? Like, the scores last spring were pretty strong. On the 3-year average, they're not quite as strong, so that I think what I'm seeing is like little upticks each year, so that's positive, I think, post-COVID response. But again, like in all cases, some to quite a bit above state average, so feeling pretty good about that. For math, last year's math results range from 9 to 21 points above state average, depending on grade level. And same on the 3-year. One thing I added this year was some AP data, because this is something that we've talked about a little bit. So I just took last spring's AP scores, and I was like, let's just start from somewhere. Like I've looked at them, I looked at them quite in depth when we were talking a lot about the U.S. News and World Report. which I will talk about as well, but I'm like, let's just take a look, raw data. So we had 140 students who took 253 AP tests last spring. 17 of those students were sophomores, 38 were juniors, and 85 were seniors. And 81.4% of the tests taken by Marshwood students received a score of a 3, 4, or 5, which is about 20 percentage points higher than the national average pass rate. So that's excellent. I mean, we had certain test areas that had 100% pass rates.
Wow.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, I didn't pull it by test because some of the N sizes were really small and I didn't want to risk sort of sharing anybody's personal data.
Right.
But I think the AP data is very strong. And so when we move into this, the U.S. News and World Report, again, like, yay for us, we're 12. Like, again, don't love this measure, particularly because it doesn't include any of our AP data, which I think is very strong, so it doesn't really give us a full picture. It's always nice when you do well, but I'm still not sure it means a lot, the way they're currently configuring it.
Yeah, but 93% graduation rate is so awesome.
It is.
It's really something to be proud about.
Definitely is, and
Yeah.
we should be definitely proud.
Yeah.
This, and it's important to note that this is based on data from the 22-23 school year. So they're a couple of years
Yeah.
behind in their ranking. So our data has continued to improve
Yeah.
over the last 3 years, so
Yeah, it's great.
it should be good. And then, so the takeaways as I looked at this data are really that, middle school and high school students consistently outperform their peers around the state by significant margins in all 3 tested areas, math, science, and ELA. The scores appear to be on an uptick overall, indicating that things are correcting academically post-COVID. These scores are not the only thing we value. We value relationships, rich experiences that build character and connections, in addition to academic success. I mean, we're glad when our kids do well, but we believe both things should be able to be done at the same time. And the summative test score data, I'm not sure what I was trying to say there. Summative test score data is a representation of where we are, and I think that our data and what we know about it, particularly adding those AP tests in there, gives us a broader picture of sort of how our students are doing and what their college readiness is like than some sort of third-party ranking like US News that we talked about before. That's what I was trying to say. I didn't say it right in here, but yeah.
But like even just the US rankings, I mean, like there's been huge gains of
Yeah.
where our school in the last few years, like, I mean, like, I think we had a different conversations a couple years ago and it's pretty awesome. Like, this is great.
Yeah, so do you guys have questions about any of the, I went kind of fast, but you have it all in front of you.
Marshall High School is the only high school in the,
Where am
and
I?
then it says read more, and I want to know what that says.
Oh, yeah. It's in the district, but you can,
Oh, okay.
you can go to the US News and World Report rankings and read all sorts of things that you might want to read. I just screenshotted it, so I'd have something up there so we could.
Yeah,
great.
yeah, thank you.
This is really nice to share. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh, it's nice to get good news.
It is, it really is. Love that data. Yeah, me too. And yeah, I'm really proud of all the work that's been done here to get us to where we are.
No small thing. The next thing on my agenda tonight is just a quick update about some Veterans Day activities around the district. So if anyone is interested in stopping by a Veterans Day ceremony, Elliott Elementary School will be holding an assembly and they do a flag planting ceremony on their front lawn, like around their flagpole. And that will be on November 5th at 9 o'clock. Great Works will be holding their ceremony on November 6th at 9 o'clock with a breakfast to follow for any veterans and their families who attend. And similarly, Marshwood Middle School will hold their ceremony on November 7th at 8:45. And you guys do a breakfast too, right? After, yeah. So if you're interested and free on one of those 3 days and you want to visit a Veterans Day ceremony, that's what's going on. Joe mentioned The town hall voting for Elliott, I just wanted to mention that South Berwick, we have Mr. Long is up for reelection in South Berwick. And I also wanted to remind the voters in South Berwick that their voting location has changed as well. They will be voting at Marshwood High School. So new voting locations for everybody. Elliott Town Hall or Marshwood High School. Okay, the next thing is you have a draft calendar. I can't believe we're having this conversation already. But I went to this Sanford Regional Vocational Center. We had a advisory team meeting last week, and they brought us a draft calendar to look at. And as you know, we are only allowed to have 5 out of sync days with our other sending schools. So we have to do a lot of negotiating with the other, I think there's 10 sending schools, the other schools in the area, and we negotiate sort of what days we have similar and different from them. The days in red are kind of the days not on Sanford's calendar as days off. That's not entirely true. The calendar Sanford put out to us had students starting school on September 1st and ending school on June 9th. We have to make some decisions about whether we want to go to school on August 31st. It's a Monday, we could. We have to decide whether or not we want to take election day off. Not a lot of districts do, but some do. We need to decide about holiday break because the calendar that Sanford put out as its initial draft had December break starting on December 24th. And that seems late.
Wow.
It seems really late to wait until Christmas Eve to, yeah. So Ryan and I were chatting about maybe we want to try to shoot for the 22nd or 23rd. And we can have that conversation. Sanford did not have the March PD day in their calendar, although there are several schools in the region that do take that March PD day, and I don't think we want to give that up. I think that's an important day to us. Some districts in our region have that Friday before April vacation as a day off by contract. So we can have that conversation about whether we want to take that Friday. We have done it in some years and not in other years, depending on sort of where we want graduation to fall in terms of its relationship to the last day of school. So really those red squares are kind of the moving parts, if you will, in terms of days we can add or subtract to our calendar, which ultimately will result in us making a decision about whether graduation falls on June 4th or June 11th and how that relates to the last day of school.
Yeah.
So if you remember, our students go 175, but seniors only have to go 170. So we have 5 days of play, but
Yeah.
Are snow
We have-
days, 5 snow days built?
there's no
into
snow
this
days
schedule?
built into this right
Okay,
now.
so any snow day will push things.
Any
along
snow day
later.
will push, and we, Ryan and I looked back, I think we looked at 5 years, and we have had, in the last 5 years, I think 3 years we had 3 snow days, 1 year we had 2, and 1 year we had 5. So that's the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my head, 3 is like the number that I think of as like how many we
Yeah.
usually have, but you just never know. It
Right.
could be none, or it could be 8.
Right. And do we know if, when South Berwick is done with their town hall situation, is voting for at least next year planning to be at a school again?
I think they'll want to
Okay.
have it
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Ryan and I talked about this the other day, I'm curious to just sort of be around on voting day. It's not a student day for us this year, but
Right.
my sense is that we're going to be able to keep voting fairly sequestered in the gym with the outside entrance
Yeah.
being right there.
Yep.
So it raises the question for me, not having voting at central school or the middle school do we still feel like we need to take election day off or not?
Right,
You know, I see both sides of it.
yeah.
With the
And
parking
student,
situation.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
students driving at
Yeah.
dismissal and all of that
Might be
is
quite
like,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Parking.
And the
Parking
parking
could be
pretty poor.
zooey. We'd probably have to have students park in the lower parking lot
Yeah.
on that particular day if we wanted to try to have school on the same day. So it's just, I'm not looking for any decisions from you guys tonight.
Right.
Just really a conversation about like your thoughts and priorities. I haven't brought this to the A team yet because we didn't meet on Monday because we didn't have school. So I do have this on our agenda to talk about when
Yeah.
we meet this coming Monday. But I mean, from the board's perspective, are there things that you really want us to prioritize or pay attention to as we work on future drafts?
No, I mean, I recall we've started school the end of August in the past, and, you know, that, it seems to make sense to do that and then gain some days before the holiday break, you know, just because it's such a short break this particular year. I don't know what about you all, but that just seems wise, and then we'd have that buffer for snow days and graduation. You know, I'm open to whatever for the election day. I think that the 16th, I don't think there's any need to take that off. But if we need to, then we certainly could. But yeah, no, I would say like starting before Labor Day makes sense on the 31st as suggested here, or whatever it is here in this little draft.
And Labor
Makes
Day's
a lot of
late.
sense.
It's
Sorry.
really late.
Labor Day's
Yeah,
late
late.
also.
Yeah, it is late, right? Yeah,
So,
very late.
As late as it
Yeah.
gets.
Yeah, because this bumps, I just worry it's like, it just bumps.
Yeah,
like
I like
everything
the idea
we're
of the
doing.
31st.
too.
Yeah.
Seems
Me
like an
too.
easy thing. For me, election day is a safety concern for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would prefer that we don't have school.
Agreed.
Okay, let's
If we're
do that
voting
then.
at the schools.
It's a midterm year.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and also just, I guess, yeah, the traffic on
Yeah,
236
right.
could get just so hairy,
Yeah.
and yeah, too, so.
True, just with our conversations about in and out of here and what that
Yeah.
might be like with all those voters coming in.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
Makes sense, yeah.
Great. And
I
what do you
definitely
guys,
like the December, the
Yes.
extra December
Yeah,
days. It's
definitely want to add more
It is
days for the
important, yeah.
24th.
I mean, one of the things I'm unsure of, like, I definitely feel like the 23rd should be a day off.
Yeah.
I don't know about the 21st or 22nd, like, I feel like if we're gonna take the 22nd, we should take the 21st too, because no one's gonna come for
Right.
one day.
Yeah.
But I'm also fine going to school on the 21st and 22nd, and like, maybe that's when more of the celebrations happen, and, you know, I feel like people would come if there was 2 days of school.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's just my gut.
I'm okay
I had that
personally
conversation
with that
last year,
second.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, about having just that one day in a week seems kind of, people
Yeah.
might just,
That's what I'm worried about.
yeah.
Yeah, but remember like, you know, when you were in high school, when, like, especially, like, they would have all the games.
Fun things
Yeah,
and
the
everything,
games
like
and
fun
the gym
days.
and your
Yeah.
competitions
Yeah.
and things like that. It was like, it was such like a team building opportunity. I don't know, I just
Right.
remember, even in middle school, I remember those type things, like right before the holidays. But yeah, I'm open to whatever on that it would be nice to have the whole week off, but
What,
I don't
how
know.
does having an early release affect the day if you did? Okay. I mean,
As
that's
long as
also
we're
an
here for
option
half
if
a
you
day,
wanted
yeah.
to do like a
Half day on the
half
Tuesday.
third Wednesday, maybe? I mean, Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah.
I don't know, just another suggestion.
When's the PD day? Is that the 16th of April?
No, March 12th.
March 12th.
That's
Okay, there it is.
Circle
Day.
Okay,
Sure,
yep.
And
Um,
if we were to give back the 22nd of December and the 16th of April, that could potentially pull
Yeah,
the
that's true.
planned last day of school into Monday the 7th. But then, of
No,
course, well,
it's,
we'd have to deal with snow days and such.
it's not, though that math isn't perfect.
Okay.
Let me do this. This was actually really helpful. I took a bunch of notes around what you guys are thinking. Let Ryan and I work on a new draft. We'll bring it to the A team on Monday, and then we can look at a new draft either next time we meet or the meeting after.
Okay.
And I should have more information from Sanford at that point too.
yeah, there you go.
But that was really helpful just to
Okay.
get where your heads were at with some of those questions we've been batting around, so thank you
Okay.
for that.
Okay.
that is the end of my report. I have time for now the student report.
Awesome. All right. So for sports, girls soccer plays Friday at home versus Deering. Boys soccer varsity is playing at Cheverus tomorrow at 4. Football plays at Kennebunk at 6 p.m. on Friday. Girls volleyball has their last game away at Massabesic on Friday. JV's at 4:30, varsity's at 6. Field hockey plays at Portland Friday at 4:30. Breast cancer awareness games have been going on, pink uniform games for most sports, and senior nights have also been happening.
Yep, and then for Student Gov, the executive board just recently met and finalized committees for wellness, policy, and student life. And then for our extracurriculars, Interact just cleared and cleaned out the community closet, I think, this week.
Oh,
Yeah, they did a really good job.
But that stuff's still in there though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just organized
Can I
it.
ask you a question? Because there were some people asking to donate things. Can you donate things like any time of the day?
So,
Yeah,
Or is
I
there
believe
I
certain
think,
time of the year you can donate? You think?
I think,
You know what would be great is if on the website, if there was a link on the website that said like to donate to the community closet, here's the instructions, when you can donate, where you bring everything, just
Yeah.
whatever, for
Or
whatever
even
that's
things
worth.
that they could use.
People ask a lot about that.
What we need, what we don't, what we need, and what we
Yeah.
don't need.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
know that a lot of people will bring stuff to the nurse's office because she's like right in the area and she'll help put things in. Or then I know a lot of people will also bring it to Miss Rumble, who's in
Miss
the
Rumble.
Yeah, she's the
Yeah.
advisor for that.
E-pod, or no, A-pod. I think.
A-Pod.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's a really good kind of head of the Bolton Drawing thing.
Okay, thank you.
And then for extracurriculars beyond Interact, chorus and band performed last week with Danish exchange students, which was really great for everybody who got to be there. Math Club is preparing for a math meet, and the district musical is getting ready to perform Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And I think it's running from the 14th to the 22nd.
And then for student life, there's been a lot of mini college fairs. A lot of them have been from the UMaine system, so a lot of local colleges. There's also been a lot of on-the-spot admission sessions that are coming up from SMCC, UMaine Orono, Husson, and a lot of other local Maine schools. And then we also had PSATs for juniors and sophomores today. So with what I've heard, it's went well. So that's what we have.
Nice, thanks guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, great. No correspondence upon which to report. We'll move into the report of the committees. First up, F&F, Finance and Facilities, met earlier this evening. Quick review of the September numbers. We're still in a very good cash position, over $1 million general cash at the end of the month, which is where we like to be. We start with general fund is in good shape. We're slightly overexpended against the 1/12 rule, but we're right where we need to be for the actual budget. Adult education is still running a little behind. We don't, we're awaiting an October quarterly payment from Kittery, and when that comes in, that'll bring us back up to in the red, excuse me, in the black, and that's going the way it does every year, which is it sort of seesaws and then at the end sort of spends itself down to zero. So that's not looking any different. Federal grants, we received some money in Title I money in October. That we're running a little bit behind here, but we're expecting money in shortly. That's still going very smoothly. We're doing much better than we have in years past with getting federal grant money in. Ryan did a sort of a food service guess. The actual official numbers for September aren't going to be ready for another week or so, but it looks, based on his estimate, that it actually turned about a $33K profit in September, so it's bringing that number back up to where it belongs, and we expect to get that above zero shortly. So yeah, that's the rundown on the September numbers. Facility updates, as I mentioned before, the portable at CES is complete and open and being used, and that's awesome. We've got a bunch of door work going on around the district. Exterior doors have been repaired at the middle school library, at the student entrance for Elliott Elementary, and there's work going on to replace the door for the A-Pod entrance here at the high school. And still have work to complete on a separate door at the middle school behind the FECS classroom. That's going to happen next week. MFI, which is the company that's doing the work on the sound system in the auditorium, they finished their initial site visit. They're currently working on a schedule to complete the work. They're confident that they'll have the work done by the time Tech Week rolls around for the musical, so we're going to keep an eye on that. We have a situation with the air conditioning at the high school. We don't have to deal with it right yet, but the front office area and the athletic offices, that AC unit is no longer working, and it runs on a variant of Freon that is no longer allowed to be used, so there's going to have to be a decision made about what to do around replacing that. The company that currently does our AC has given us a bid that's around $100,000 to replace that with a chilled water condenser. We've also got a separate quote for mini splits, which is more like $88,000 or $89,000. Sorry, $84,000. Don't have to make the decision just yet, but we're going to have to keep an eye on it because we will have to schedule the work when the time comes. I think that's probably going to be shortly after the beginning of the calendar year decision, so more on that soon. Transportation update. Still struggling with being right at the limit for bus drivers. We've done so much juggling that the decision was taken to eliminate an elementary bus run, which is hopefully going to relieve some of the stress. Ryan actually provided us with data from the new software, which allows us to see exactly what's going on, and it looks like some of the runs are actually lengthened a bit. There were actually the interesting ones were the PM bus routes for the kids that started out with this new system at a little bit higher than we wanted to see it. There were some 78, 79, 80-minute times on the bus. Those have improved now over the course of one day to the range of 64 to 70, and we're hoping for a little bit more additional improvement. This will free up one of the bus drivers to be a permanent or to be a full-time spare, so that when we have bus drivers out, we won't be juggling routes. What else to say about that?
Was that an elementary route, did you say?
Yes. It was bus 10 has been eliminated from the elementary routes.
By eliminated, you just mean combined, like?
With other
obviously.
routes, which is why the run times have gone up a little bit. Okay. There is an offer out to a person with a CDL, estimated start date of December 1st, and there are other folks that are in the pipeline, so hopefully we're going to get this improved between now and the end of this calendar year is the hope. That's the transportation update. Just a real quick kind of fun update from food service. Today was Maine Apple Crunch Day. All Maine students throughout the state were provided with apples to bite into at 12:15 p.m. and there are recordings of this, so that we know that it did actually happen. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, Heather, you want to talk a little bit about we further discussion about the sign out front and encouraging people to slow down.
Yeah, sure thing. So in our town meeting, we brought up the fact that, we're still very concerned about the safety of students and community members coming in and out of the high school drive, and just that folks just keep on speeding, and there just isn't the police officers aren't usually there during the first of this when school starts and at the end during on the 236. So we kind of brought it up to the group to think outside of the box and be a little creative of what we could maybe come up with in terms of a solution, because it's something that we've been concerned about every year for many years, and you know, we have some really smart folks, and it was suggested, you know, thanks Ryan for reminding us that we purchased this new updated sign for the high school, and there is the ability to program the sign, and so Heidi suggested we use that to maybe say slow down or, you know, caution at certain times. So there should be a way to program that sign to help the cause or to help folks slow down. And then we also discussed, you know, in the meantime, I know we're scheduled to have a light put out there in 2027, but that's quite a long time to wait. And so apparently the cost to purchase a like slow down sign that lights up and flashes or that shows your speed and to program that is about around $6,000. We're not entirely sure yet, but we're hoping that we can just get some price quotes on maybe popping one of those signs at each end of the 236 slow down school zone to help, and then we can repurpose those for other school buildings in the future. But again, we just wanted you to know that we are also concerned just about the traffic and the comings and the goings of folks on 236, and that we're trying to be creative in how we find a solution. I think, was that enough, Joe?
Yeah, no, that was good.
Is there anything else?
That was good. I think you got it all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ed Policy will next meet October 29th. That's a change from previously posted. I think we had said going to be the 22nd. We moved it to the 29th because of some conflicts. And then Wellness SEL will next meet on November 5th, so we'll get a report out from them at our next board meeting. Okay, concludes the report of the committees, brings us to new business. Motion please to approve the Ski Team Boosters application to hold a fundraiser.
I move to approve the Ski Team Boosters to hold a fundraiser selling flowers during the school day on February 12th and 13th, 2026.
Second, Heather?
Heather, thank you. The application is in your package. Looks like they want to sell flowers during the school day leading up to Valentine's Day. And they want to do this on an ongoing basis. Questions about this? All in favor? Okay, we'll make that 4-0. Good, thank you. Motion please to approve the second reading of the affirmative action plan.
I move to approve the second reading and adoption of MSAD 35 Affirmative Action Plan.
Second check.
Okay. No changes from last time? Comments, questions? All in favor? Okay, that's 4-0. Motion please to approve the second reading of IHBAC.
I move to approve the second reading and adoption of policy IHBAC child find.
Second, Rebecca.
Thank you. Same thing. Second read, no changes since our first read. Comments or questions? All in favor? That's 4-0. And that concludes our new business and brings us to the building administrator check-in.
Dave said the swivels, so. Okay. Hello, everyone. So we had a lot going on. We have a lot coming up, so just bear with me. So our bar training on October 10th, we worked on fostering resiliency. And Tony, our trainer, our coach from bar came, and it's always nice to see him. I want to do a shout out to our staff for their openness and willingness to be vulnerable during that time. They did an excellent job. Our PE staff within the district held an adaptive PE professional development day at the middle school, and I snuck in there a few times, and it was hard to leave them because the stuff they were doing was really engaging, and so it looked like an amazing event, so shout out to them. Our 7th grade went on a field trip to Vaughan Woods State Park today. Heidi chaperoned, so that was really cool for the kids to see. The students launched their interdisciplinary project on stewardship, exploring the question, how can we be stewards of the land around us and why it's important. The integrated subjects included science, math, social studies, and language arts. Activities included tree identification, data collection, scale drawings, and descriptive writing. Students also enjoyed exploring the woods and water edge, reinforcing the importance of caring about the natural world. So that was really cool to watch them in action. Our 6th grade will be going next week to the Military Museum. Students will visit the Military Museum next week to prepare for our Veterans Day celebration, but it also ties nicely into their curriculum. This museum is operated by veterans, and it features artifacts from pre-colonial America to modern times, and it's all donated by local families and veterans. And the trip connects the students to artifacts and that they analyze the work from their social studies classrooms, their studies. Mrs. Gilpatrick and I are going to be taking 5 8th graders to a leadership opportunity, and it's called Maine Youth Leadership Day up at the Hyde School on October 23rd. And students will network with Maine businesses and community leaders and explore leadership potential and learn about future career opportunities. So we're really excited. Mr. Cormier is going to drive us in one of the vans, so we're very excited about that. Aren't you, Mr. Cormier? I could feel it. The 8th grade last week went to a play called Into America that tied into their immigration studies. So that was really cool. So all of our students have already gone out or will be going out on field trips, and it's only been October, so it's really cool. So we're very excited about that, and we still have so much more to do. We participated in Apple Crunch Day, to my chagrin, because I don't like to hear people eat, but they all crunched into those apples today, which was great. The cafeteria staff, Karen, got a grant over last year or the beginning of this year, and I saw kids walking around and were very excited about mango smoothies today. So they were all sipping on mango smoothies, which was really, really cool. They kept saying mango, 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 but that's middle schoolers. We're closing up our NWA testing on October 24th. We're not focusing on this test so much on what the outcome of the scores are. What our staff is really going to be looking at is how the students will be able to identify how they can be better test takers and implement those skills in their daily practice within their classroom. So that's what we're going to be looking at and using some of our Thursdays for that. Upcoming events, we are having a Halloween bash on October 29th. So EES and CES 2nd and 3rd grade students only from 4:30 to 5:30. They are invited to come in Halloween costumes and come enjoy some festivities. And then from 6 to 8, it's going to be 8th graders only, and they are going to dress up and come and celebrate some Halloween affairs. And then our Fairness Assembly is October 31st at 1:20, so you are all welcome to come to our assembly. So please join us. We're having a bottle drive on October 25th, and that is from 9 to, it's a Saturday from 9 to 12. We're having the Clink truck just roll on up. So if you don't have a Clink bag, don't worry. I've got a whole bunch of Clink bags. I'll just put our Clink bag over it and our sticker. And then if a student can't come and you know a student, you can tell me what advisory they're in or who that student is, and then we're going to mark their name and whatever advisory gets the most students to bring in the Clink bag, they're going to get a pizza party. And all those proceeds are going to go to fun activities for the students. So that way I don't get duct taped to the wall this year. But we will do something fun for our students. Oh, we are going to have one really cool event at the Halloween bash, so it might be a student being able to be the principal for the day. So make sure you come. And we also had we had Stacy Barlow for restorative practice come in, and we had a great day with her with our restorative practice staff, the people, our liaisons that go out, and so tomorrow for our Thursdays, we're going to be working on that. So we're really on the ball and going forward with that. That is all I have, so thank you.
I love the Clink truck idea and to generate,
And so
wonderful.
Yeah, and so I'm having 15 students come and volunteer with me to just help load the truck. So
great.
I just want the kids to do it, come and help, and so I've already got a whole bunch of kids that want to come and do it. So
Yeah.
and we have we just have Clink all around the school, so.
It's so great because this is something we've been talking about for years, is just we want to get the kids more into recycling, reusing, reducing, and this is a great opportunity. I have actually never heard of any other school
And the
that's
Clink
brought in
truck
a
comes free.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And one of the things that we're also trying to do is work with our integrated life skills students to employ jobs through them to go around and help get those bottles and give them jobs throughout the day and to help get them more involved in our community within our school.
Yeah, it's so great. Thanks for doing all of that and adding all these other field trips. I think Waste Management up in Rochester, they do a great field trip too, where you can bring kids and you can see how they produce gas to fuel cities.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a good one too. So could kind of correlate with your Clink truck. Yeah, in the future maybe, but that's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a busy day here at the high school. We had 176 students take the PSAT this morning, sophomores and juniors, and my thanks to my colleagues in the IT department who made sure all the computers worked as necessary, and to our staff who proctored, and also to our staff who exited that half of the building so it could be co-opted by test takers. So it all worked out. And of course, thanks to our students who put in the time and effort answering those questions. Yes, we too partook in National Apple Crunch Bite Day at noon sharp. Hopefully the time was okay. I think you mentioned 12:15. We did it at noon, so we might have been ahead of the curve here at the high school. Synchronised bites though, and then of course we had the second night of parent-teacher conferences today. Walk around the building, and that also coincided with a college aid financial night this evening as well. So our colleagues in the counselling department, and also they hosted Jessica Whittier, who's from the Finance Authority of Maine, to present on the FAFSA. So for parents who want to know more about the college process, and if you weren't able to come this evening, certainly keep a look out at the counselling website. They post more information about that as well. So certainly a busy day at the high school, busy month as well. What we've been doing this month has been focused on what's happening next month. So next month is the NEAS team are coming, 6 or 7 members. We got the final list today, coming November 16 to November 19. Beginning of October, we submitted our self-study report, which gave us some time since then to work on the 3 sort of main goals we have. So we talked this week in our day last week, about the vision of the graduate and what we can do to create that portfolio piece we're looking for, capstone portfolio piece. We can present that to our freshman class in August or September of 2026 when they come in. And that vision of what they're going to be able to do by 2030. So a long-term plan, but we had a chance to coalesce around some ideas about portfolios and capstones and push that further in the weeks ahead. We were able to do that last week. We also were able to delve in a little bit more with some workshops on ELO opportunities and project-based learning, not just in terms of those what's happening outside of our classes, but how we can enrich what's happening in our classes through units based on projects, how we can learn from those who went to the New Hampshire Learning Institute last summer, and who might be going next year as well to reinforce that. Just teachers talking with other teachers about planning lessons and units which can engage our students best, particularly applying real-world solutions and applying that knowledge in a way that really resonates for our students. That was a great thing for us to work on as well. And we too had a chance to meet with Tony Bland, our bar coach, who came and met with our bar team as well. That's only the 9th grade here at the high school, but that's a group which is working really well. I get to sit on those meetings as well. So really working using data, really working using intervention strategies to help catch those 9th graders who aren't quite getting on board with us, as they should, and really working really well. It's going really well actually to bring those solutions to our teachers who get to really talk about kids, which is what we love to do. And then of course our restorative practices work as well. So last week we were able to have Stacey Barlow at the high school, and tomorrow we'll be back in those circles again, pushing those things forward. So those 3 main ideas about the vision of the graduate, project-based learning, and really working to engage students with bar and restorative practices, they form the core part of our priority areas for NIAS. So when they come, we'll have a chance to talk with them and learn from them actually what they might have as some good ideas, particularly about those portfolio ideas, what might be really good things for us to adopt. So yeah, November 16th to 19th. Otherwise, we have mentioned the Spirit Week, the homecoming game, the homecoming dances. It was a great dance here we had at the school. It was a very warm evening, which is really great because the students could then go outside in the courtyard, because when you get a couple of hundred students in the cafeteria on a very warm evening, you need to go outside for a bit. It was great. And of course, one of the great highlights of the last month was the visit from our Danish students from the Reisenstein Gymnasium. Such a great opportunity for our students to connect with their peers from Denmark and to have a chance to do what they did. So, for example, they had a collaborative conference, about 75 students focusing on the power of collaboration and also what might be some cross-cultural concerns that are shared by youth today. And they sort of talked about 4 major items: social media, mental health, identity, and AI. And they talked through possible solutions and strategies to meet those challenges. So firstly, my thanks again to our faculty, my thanks again to the families who hosted, my thanks to the students who welcomed them so much. And we also get to plan the potential for our students to go there in 2026. And if, on that point about social media, if you're interested to learn more about that, then next week we have our book club starting up around Anxious Generation. So that'll be, I think it's next Tuesday, I hope, which would be great for us to sort of delve into those topics as well about social media. So that's been the high school.
Thank you.
Thank you
Sure.
very much.
Okay. Any last thoughts from the board? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn then.
Move to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
Heather, all in favor? That's 4-0. We're adjourned. Thank you.